Hey YouTube, Lawler here, and an interesting conversation to talk about today that we've been alluding to over the last couple of videos, and it has to do with pro players retiring more and more frequently. If you guys don't know, and it's something I actually made a video on this about, gosh, 5 years ago almost. If you guys haven't seen this video, go check it out. But I talk about, and God, my old apartment. But if you guys want to see a breakdown of kind of where things were at the time of the industry, this video provides a lot of insight. I'll leave a description down below about it, but it talks about kind of the salary breakdown, how much players were making, so on and so forth. Back during like COVID era, back in 2020, when, you know, players were earning some serious money, the different tiers of it, the different echelons, like basically what went into it. Okay. The reason why this conversation is important, Rapid recently, whether you love or hate the guy, pointed out kind of a disparity in what finances have been. We talking about the difficulties of what things were like back in 2020, 2021, and the amount people are getting paid. As a quick summary, if you were on a bubble team, basically if you're making top 16s consistent, you're getting anywhere from 2 to 5K. If you were making top 10s, you were anywhere from 4 to 6K. If you were top 8 consistent, you're talking teams like Deleted and Team Evo and things of that nature, you were making anywhere from 6 to 11K. If you were top 4 going to majors consistent, making world championships, you were in the 12 to 17K range per player per month. $500,000 for a Rocket League team. That is the general expectation. Obviously, things have changed a lot since then, and now the low end for top 4 is the high end for top 4. A lot of the reason why, as we've alluded to, is in the peak of COVID, when everybody was staying at home, advertisement money was crazy. We had a bunch of venture capitalists funding coming in. People were watching, marketing dollars were nuts. Everybody was getting paid. That was never sustainable. It was never a good idea. It was never smart. And the market rate of what Rocket League pros were asking for versus what they were actually bringing to the table has never really been equivalent. It is no longer enough to show up, play your matches, win said matches, and that's it. You've got to be a public figure. You've got to make content. You've got to bring more things to the table outside of I play Rocket League, especially if you want to get paid in that higher tier. That being said, there is some outliers to that. There are certain players like Daniel, who are considered one of the best in North America, who are going to be awarded that kind of salary, even though on-camera presence isn't really there, doesn't really talk a whole lot. Sure, he shows up in a content piece here and there, but he's not making content, he's not streaming, he's not doing those things. Some players still are awarded the opportunity because at the end of the day, winning opens the door for eyes and attention and marketing opportunity. We compare that now to 2025, and I can tell you some of these are still a little bit off. If you're not top 8, the chances of getting picked up are pretty negligible. Even if you are top 8, this is still way too much per player. I can tell you most top 8 teams, if you're not making top 4 consistent, you're either being unsigned or you're making nowhere near close to this per player. It is not a thing that is happening. Unless you are making majors or you are legitimately in the conversation to make a major, you're probably not going to be getting picked up nowadays unless an organization has a very active reason to make it a thing. For example, if I'm an organization and a sponsor or some sort of endorsement comes in and says, hey, we want to market to 13 to 20-year-old males, non-violent, we want it to be super accessible, so on and so forth, Rocket League is the perfect solution. And they go, well, we have a fit for you. We're going to sign this team with the money that you give us. We're going to make a documentary. We're going to do behind the scenes stuff that you'll be associated to. We'll do a couple activations. The sponsorship was on a decal in-game on the side of a car. There was a bunch of things. Now they've got to be a bit more creative outside of just slap logo on thing. We're happy. I can tell you there is some big players in the space that do have those types of sponsorships that go, hey, we want to sign a very specific team in a very specific region because the sponsorship is calling for it. So there are some things, but realistically, you can take this number and bump it up to 5'8", and then say a select few that have a lot of potential are going to get that. Even still, say you are, for example, and we can talk about it because he literally just retired, you're Chicago, right? If we go look at 9 Lives, here they were almost, and go to the major, right? Top 4, that's great. Top 6, Another top 4, you're going to be fighting for a spot, potentially either be tiebreaker or otherwise to go to the major, which is what orgs want. Definitely a reason to get signed. They don't do that. Top 6, a hiccup. They don't even make top 16. And then again, 1 and 3, they're out. So for an organization to say, we're going to come in and put in all this financial investment, all this support, this is just simply not worth their time. Like, you're talking, why spend a couple $100s per player when we could just not do that and then find a team that can? Some namesake, some notoriety. Obviously, 2/3 of that team with Hawks in Chicago were at a world championship just 6 months ago. But anybody who knows Rocket League, a month, 2 months, 3 months is a world of difference for a team. So the difficulty for organizations is, unless you're making majors and you can really get in front of that mainstream crowd and you can get licensing and marketing deals for long-term sustainability through Psyonix and Epic, it doesn't make sense. Even still, let's take that number. Let's say you're getting paid as a player $1.5K a month, and you times that by 12 months, that's $18,000 a year. That is not a livable wage. It just isn't. It will cover room and board, but it is on you, content and otherwise, to turn it into a full-time thing and to grow and expand and build, which a lot of players don't want to do. So what is the option? If I'm, for example, Chicago or Realize, you know, some of these other regions that have even lesser opportunities, what is my choice? Do I, A, continue to try to find an opportunity and grind and grind and grind for what is probably no pay? Do I, B, what most do, go to CRL, leverage that I am a LAN winner and a really, really good player still, free ride scholarship, get an education, and go that route? Or do I say, you know what, it's been a fun stint, I have hopefully some savings and some prize money and stuff like that, I have a leg up in life compared to others, maybe I invested it intelligently, maybe I now have the ability to go pay for my own education and do my own thing and go live a normal 9 to 5, whatever that may be, but I've got a leg up in life. Those are kind of 3 roles, and for a lot of people like Chicago who have been doing it for a very long time, I don't blame him for finally being like, you know what, it's been a good 6-7 years of doing this, time to take that next step. The expectation of a 16-17-year-old kid having this big personality and being very articulate on camera, I'm sorry, it's not there. Like, people have been talking, third-party people that have been watching Rocket League for a long time said the number one thing that lacks in Rocket League is personalities, because we really don't have them. We got young kids. It's very difficult for us to have the expectation that we have big personalities when we have such a low age restriction. My opinion was, when they reduced it to 13, they should have increased it to 17. It should be kids making that decision of, do I take a gap year from collegiate and I go and pursue Rocket League as a professional, or do I go the collegiate route? There's things to do in that regard, but again, it is a risk. It is not an easy answer. So for a lot of teams, why are they retiring so much? I'm sorry, but even this, you know, you're talking $60K a year. You're telling me I got to grind and be one of the best in the world and fight for my position, or I can go in the traditional route and hopefully get a job and do it that way. But do you want more? I can understand the reasoning. A lot of the players that have been around for a very long time, on top of that, have also been doing the same thing over and over and over again. And when you're young, your interests change as you get older. So I think there is that reality of, I can't just do this for fun. I can't do this for free. You know, there was players like Torment. Torment, I think, is a prime example. Torment, after V1, had the opportunity to go and play for a team like Oxygen in North America. Good pay, like 4 or 5K a month, to just essentially hang out. Could have earned a paycheck and just collected it. Never would have won a major again. Never would have made it to majors again, based upon what he was associating with on the talent level. And that's no disrespect. It's just, guy's been doing it for a long time. But he decided, you know what? I don't want to just collect a paycheck. I want to be fulfilled. I want to do something important. And that's why he stepped away. I respect the heck out of it. But those days of just, hey, here's a blank check to exist, you are either making majors or you don't matter. That's the cutthroat reality. That should be the motivation. That should be the reason you grind. The ones that do get to the top definitely do well, but it is very tough, and you got to earn that spot. You got to fight to keep that spot, and you got to do the extra stuff that, in my opinion, was never extra. Content, public figure, personality. Make sure you commit to doing the content pieces. Make sure you buy into the organization. And And that's even tougher now, especially with the conversation we had recently where these organizations don't give two shits about you. It's tough. What needs to happen is Epic needs to step in. Epic needs to provide better opportunities for more organizations to be insights to come in. They've got to do something to start getting that viewership back up. Otherwise, the harsh realities are going to be Rocket League is not an answer anymore for a lot of people. So who knows? Maybe they do go the cash cup routes. They don't want organizations. They just want individuals. And that's the way to go. Either way, pretty crazy stuff. Hopefully some insight for you guys. A lot has changed in 5 years, 4.5 years, with a lot more to come. Either way, 2026 is going to be an interesting year for Rocket League. A lot of things we have not talked about, but a lot going down before then. Either way, any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Like, subscribe, notifications. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Short fuse.